are preparing for a battle of another kind. They are getting ready to fight this spring's wildfires. With all the rain that we've been having, it may surprise you to learn that we are at the beginning of North Carolina's most dangerous fire season. It runs from March to June. Low humidity and high winds occur during these months, creating perfect conditions for disastrous forest fires. Recently, the North Carolina Forest Service conducted an evacuation and training drill at the site of one of the worst fires in the state's history, the Holly Shelter Game Land area near Topsail Beach. Beth Tobin has our report.
It's hard to imagine that just 10 years ago, this forest of slender pine was the scene of a raging forest fire that burned out of control for almost 2 weeks. It scorched 73,000 acres in its wake, destroying property and wildlife. The fire cost more than $5 million in resources and lost timber. Today, it's a memory, but more importantly, a lesson that's being evaluated in this drill.
In 1986, we didn't lose but one little structure that was unoccupied in 73,000 acres. By right now, this is simulating day one of the Topsail fire, same conditions. We would have probably lost 50 to 60 homes by now.
The exercise begins with forest rangers and firefighters from area departments going door to door, handing out information and pointing out potential fire hazards to residents.
Fire be generated here, it's going to cause you a real intense fire situation that may cause embers or whatnot to come in your area, affect this area as well as you've got an adequate area here, but it needs to be maintained in terms of keeping it low so you won't have a raging fire coming up next to the house.
Almost all homeowners in this exercise had something in their yards that needed removing or just clearing.
My husband's a general contractor, so he brings a lot of debris home, and we're going to have to get rid of it or find a place to put it or something, so that it's not up near the house. People should really take, good stead at learning what they can do to prevent forest fires. It's scary. It really is scary. We didn't have to face this up in New York. We didn't have a lot of this up there, but down here they do.
Fortunately, many had some of the necessary firefighting tools: a shovel, axe, ladder, and several water hoses.
Well, I took precautions. I got water spigots all four corners of the trailer. My pump down there, I got water spigots down there in case the fire comes that way. And then all back, we cleared all it where there'd be no weeds or nothing to solve ground. And the front's going to be grass.
So you feel like you're in pretty good shape, huh?
Well, it can really jump.
Residents got a fire safety checklist so they could determine just how safe their homes and property are. Dense undergrowth, wood siding, and combustible materials nearby spell problems. But fire officials say even without these problems, another fire is going to happen. And when it does, homes like this one are lying right in its path.
The agenda here, primary objective, is to get people out of the path of the fire, to try to evacuate. Once we get the people out of the way, then we would come back in and try to fight the fire.
Fighting the fire becomes an all-out blitzkrieg. Heavy equipment rolls in. And then the aerial assault. 2 leader planes to show the target. And then the bigger one comes in for the strike. Today, there's fake smoke and water drops, but it's all very real.
In a real fire situation that could be dropping water, we have another mixture of water and fertilizer, and there's 2 reasons behind that. After the fire is over with, the fertilizer would help to serve as a green up for nutrients, and also the fertilizer makes the fire retardant stick to the plants.
As the drill comes to a close, fire management officials designate a safe area where residents gather. If this were a real emergency, they would be taking stock of the situation and planning the next series of attacks.
The purposes of the problem, with the fire ending being at buckshot at 2 o'clock today, they can go on 44 chains an hour.
calm winds tonight. I'm assuming since it's only 5 miles an hour predicted.
With nearly 75 personnel on site, this exercise is impressive because it has to be. The State Forest Service has declared this area as an extreme forest fire danger. It's the only area in the state to be given this designation.
There's problems all over the state with people. They want their houses in the woods. They like to keep the natural vegetation. The only problem is fires will still burn. They'll burn the structures up. The thing that makes this area, in my mind, as bad as anywhere we have in North Carolina is the houses are back in little dirt roads. They're very inaccessible to the firefighters, and the vegetation that's out here will burn extremely bad in the spring. We could have a fire that literally was burning homes up before we could get to it.
In 1995, North Carolina